Hello, everybody. I am Penny. Welcome to Lighthearted Life and Collectibles. Today we have the precious reborn baby Skylar, who is the Maddie Sculpt by Bonnie Brown, and his artist is Megan Johnson of Doodlebug's Reborn Nursery. So today I'm going to do this tag, which was also the video prompt for this month for Delightful Dollies, but I'm going to have it as a tag so you guys can participate in it if you would like. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's called the Dolly Advice Time Machine tag. So what we're going to do while I'm changing baby Skylar into this cute little lion outfit, it's got little blue jean overalls and then this little top that has little lion prints all over, and these little striped socks that have the matching colors, and with the lion, the brown and the orange. And we're going to put these little tan shoes on him, and he's just going to be so stinking cute. So we're going to put that on him, and while I'm doing that, we're just going to do the tag. So the tag is that the flux capacitor is real. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Back to the Future, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. If not, go watch all 3 of those Back to the Future movies and don't stop until you finish them. And then if you do like me, you will watch them over and over again just whenever you feel like it. So anyways, the flux capacitor is real because that is what makes time travel possible. So if your time machine is a flying DeLorean like mine, you have to get into this time machine and you have 15 minutes to give your past self Dolly advice. And the reason why you only have 15 minutes is because you just need to really get there. It's very pressing. You need to give your past self some Dolly advice, and you have to get back because the time machine has to be destroyed. Because after all, we cannot have that kind of technology falling into the wrong hands, can we? So we go back, and what we do is we decide what date we're going to be returning to and what advice we would like to give our past self and why. So those are your tag questions. When you got into your Dolly time machine, what date would you be returning to, and what advice would you be giving to yourself and why? So I've got 15 minutes. So the first thing I would do, I would tell my past self, I would go back to, let's see, what date? I need to do that first. I guess I would go back to May the 1st, 2016, because that is only a couple of weeks after I got my very first reborn baby. And I was totally just looking at everything, every sculpt, everything. I wanted everything. I wasn't looking at if a kid had full limbs or 3/4 limbs or whatever. If I fell in love with the face, I just bought it. So I would go back to May the 1st, 2016. I would say, do not buy every baby you see. Learn what you like. So it's kind of like one of those catch-22s. You have to buy the baby to find out what kind of sculpts you're going to enjoy. But at the same time, if you buy up a lot of dolls of that same type, like say you buy up a bunch of dolls that have 3/4 limbs, and then you find out you don't like 3/4 limbs, then you've got a bunch of babies with 3/4 limbs that you're not enjoying because you didn't like it. So that brings me to the next thing that I would advise my past self not to do, and that's to avoid buying babies too close together. The reason I just mentioned is one really good reason, because when you're first learning in your hobby, you don't know really what you like. So it's a learning curve, and it's better to space it out so that you when you receive a doll, you know if you're enjoying this particular type of doll or not. Another reason is, we bond with our dolls and we give them personalities, and we play with them, we do the role plays, and we have to kind of get into the groove of that character for our babies. Oh my gosh, y'all, he's looking so cute in this. You just look so cute. Yes, you do. But yeah, I mean, like, we have to get into that groove with each baby and actually enjoy that baby, because I feel like I bought dolls too close together, and then I ended up with a bunch of dolls that I ended up selling because they weren't what I wanted. So another piece of advice that I would have to give my past self is, it's best not to artist hop. Find a set of trustworthy artists and stick with them. Because I promise you, that's going to save a lot of heartache. I would tell my past self, save yourself the heartache of buying a doll that is going to be disappointing to you once you get it. You could end up with a doll horror story like I had happened to me. And then you're trying to fix the situation. And then if you have an issue where the artist is not willing to work with you, some artists will just tell you, I don't do refunds, or I don't, I'm just not going to fix this problem. Some of them will not. Yeah. Find the trustworthy artist and stick with them so that it saves you a lot of heartache. It's just easier that way. It's a lot easier on you. It's a lot easier on your pocketbook, because if you are buying a doll that ends up being less than what you needed it to be, or it's the paint starts rubbing off 2 days after you get it, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to try to find some way to recoup some of those funds, and you're still not going to. And you're going to end up selling that for little to nothing, or, if you can't get your money back. And sometimes you can't. There's situations that happen where you can't, like where I was talking about, it had been a long time, and, since I first started paying on the doll, and because I had did a layaway, then my first payment, since it had been so long, couldn't be refunded to me and all that. So yeah, that is some very true advice that I would give to my past self, and just say, do not do that. Find trustworthy artists and stick with them. Don't artist hop, because you might run into situations like that if you do. Another piece of advice that I would want to give my past self is to only buy sculpts that really appeal to you. Because if you buy all the popular sculpts because those are the ones that everybody wants, it may not be what you want. And then you're ultimately not going to bond with the doll. You're going to be disappointed in the doll, even if it is done beautifully. If the sculpt is not what you want, and you're just buying it because it's popular and everybody's getting one, then you're going to set yourself up for disappointment. So only buy the sculpts that really, really appeal to you. Like right now, like in vinyl, I want my babies to be awake. Now, I do have an asleep vinyl baby. But for the most part, if I buy a vinyl baby, I want it to be awake. I don't know why, but I want it to be awake. And then when it comes to my silicone babies, once again, I don't know why, I prefer them to be asleep. But it's just something that I have learned about myself, that's what I prefer. Now, I do have plans to get an awake silicone baby later on. But But yeah, it's just kind of some things that I've learned about myself as time has went on since I've been collecting since 2016. It's 2022 now. So I've had lots of time to really learn what I really, really like. So I would say that would be four really good pieces of advice that I could give to my past self. And maybe I'll add a fifth one in there. So I'm going to add this fifth one. If there's ever a time when you have to step away from the hobby, whether it be completely or if it's from your YouTube channel, or maybe you don't feel like doing anything with your babies for an entire month, 2 weeks, a week, a day, whatever the case may be, do not feel guilty about it. Because ultimately, this is your hobby and it's for your enjoyment. And the babies are going to be there when you're ready. And if you have a YouTube channel, which I do, your subscribers are going to be there when you get back. Like, they're going to understand that you can't put a video out every day. So I would give my past self that advice too, because I've often felt like if I couldn't put out at least 2 to 3 videos a week, that I wasn't enjoying my hobby enough. But if I'm like forcing myself to put out 2 to 3 videos a week, then it no longer becomes a fun, leisurely thing. It starts to become a job. And that's not why I'm in the hobby. I don't want it to be a job. I want it to be something that's for my fun and for my enjoyment. And so it's there for me when I want to do it. And yeah, when you have a YouTube channel, you do have to put more consistent content out there if you are trying to grow your channel. Or it's also nice for people to know, like, hey, I know that Penny's going to put out at least 1 video a week, unless she says otherwise, So, I mean, like, that's nice for people to know, because y'all know I'm going to put something out there. And if I don't, I usually come to y'all either on my wall, or I make a video saying, I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to be making videos for a little bit or whatever. Or I announce it on my Facebook also and my Instagram. So it's okay to take that time whenever you need it. And your dolly friends and your dolls are going to be there when you're ready to come back. So that is my dolly advice time machine. And look how cute this boy looks. Oh my gosh, he looks so sweet. I just love this baby, y'all. As a matter of fact, I've said it before, but I just love all my babies. Like, I am so happy with my collecting now because of everything that I've learned over the years. So the babies I bring into my collection that you will be seeing coming this coming year and in the future are always going to be babies that I really, really want, because I have stopped buying on a whim. I mean, y'all have noticed I don't have box openings really close together. And back in the day, I was constantly buying a doll from somewhere, So I just really enjoy my collection so much more doing that. And it's so fun to play with them and just, come up with the little scenarios with them and their personalities and stuff. It's so much more fun and enjoyable when you take your time to really love each doll as they come in. So, y'all, I've got to go because it's time to get the time machine back so that it can be destroyed. We're at 14 minutes. So let me set the flux capacitor, or the time machine, to return me back to 2022. What's today's date? This is March the 28th. So yeah, I've got to go back to March 28th, 2022. So I'll see y'all back there. Bye.